our new segment, Elements of Poetry. My name is Kara Roseborough, and I'm excited to lead you through this new addition to our Black Poets Then and Now series. This part of our series will ask you, our viewers, to contribute your own work. Each Tuesday, I will introduce a new element or style of poetry and ask you to send us one example of your work writing in that style or using that element. Submit your work to fjtheater@cityofevanston.org by the following Sunday at noon. That's fjtheater@cityofevanston.org, submitted by the following Sunday at noon. Please note that by submitting your work, you grant Fleetwood-Jourdain Theater the right to review and share your work via video and on our social media platforms for the Stay Creative series. Now, which element of poetry are we talking about this week? We are looking at the classical Japanese poetic form, Tonka. Let's take a look. Tonka is the oldest form of Japanese poetry and one of the major genres in Japanese literature. Originally, the name Tonka was used to describe short-form poetry, distinguishing it from choka or long-form poetry. In the 10th century, Tonka and other short poetic styles became the dominant poetic form in Japanese literature, and Tonka fell under the name of waka, which was prior to that used to describe poetry more in a general sense. In the 20th century, Japanese poet and literary critic Masaoka Shiki revived the term Tonka. He also coined the term haiku, which is a similar poetic form. Tonka poems are only 5 lines long. The first line is 5 syllables, the second line 7, the third line 5, and the fourth and fifth line 7. The first 3 lines are known as kaminoku, or the upper phrase. The last 2 lines are known as shimonoku, or the lower phrase. Tonka and other forms of Japanese poetry, classical Japanese poetry, were often used in the early days as a form of correspondence between writers or lovers or scholars, and were involved in different kinds of ceremonies depending on the region. Tonka has seen ebbs and flows in its popularity, but gained a resurgence of popularity in the United States in the 1980s. Many Black poets gravitated towards Tonka and haiku for their rhythmic qualities and how they easily aligned with jazz and blues rhythms. James Emanuel, whom we talked about a couple of weeks ago, actually created a genre of haiku of poetry that infused haiku with jazz, known as the jazz haiku. Today we're going to look at another prominent poet who used these poetic forms, Sonia Sanchez, and we're going to look at her poem, aptly titled Tonka Poem. Let's take a look.
I kneel down like a collector of jewels before you. I am singing one long necklace of love, my mouth a sapphire of grapes.
All right, let's unpack. If you read this poem through like it's just 2 sentences, you might miss the syllable breakdown, so let's break it down. I kneel down like a, 5 syllables, line 2. Collector of jewels before, 7, line 3. You I am singing, 5, checks out. One long necklace of love mine, 7 syllables, still going. Last line, mouth a sapphire of grapes, also 7 syllables, also checks out. So you got the 5, 7, 5, 7, 7 of the Tonka form. We're going right in, not breaking any rules here today with Ms. Sanchez's poem. Really beautiful imagery evoked here. I love the image of the speaker kneeling before someone or something, some entity, as a jewel collector, self-described jewel collector, gathering up something precious, but also giving something precious, both in singing a necklace of love and then describing their mouth as a sapphire of grapes. So not only do they have something naturally on them that is precious, but they are using that precious thing to produce something even more precious. And you have the implied reciprocity. This poem falls very much in line with the genre, one of the many genres that Tonka forms were used for way back in the day, which is love, romance. This falls right in line. The language is updated, but the subject matter is very much the same. Okay, now that we've talked about Tonka poetry, broken it down, seen an example, I'm going to turn it over to you, our viewers. We would love to see your work and have you write your own Tonka poem using the 5-7-5-7-7 syllable structure that we just talked about. So it's short and sweet, and this can be about anything you want. It doesn't have to be about love. It can be about what you ate for breakfast. It can be about that dream that you had. It can be about going for a walk, and anything that inspires you throughout your day, throughout your life. Feel free. This is your time. Get creative at home and email us your submissions at fjtheater@cityofevanston.org. Get your submissions in by this coming Sunday at noon. I look forward to reading your work. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. So with that being said, I will leave you to get to work, and I look forward to seeing you on Thursday as we talk more about Sonia Sanchez. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay safe